Again, I'm going to try and keep this one brief because the coverage is still live and I want to watch it. This was a very poor fight, Ricky Burns versus the Australian Josh King. Size difference between the two, so obvious. This King, you know, surely he could be fighting in a lower division. Ricky Burns looked massive in there compared to him. Really, really poor fight. You know, complete lack of entertainment and action, especially when you compare it to the fight just before it, Scott Cardle versus Dodd. You know, Ricky Burns really fought a poor fight here. He descended to his opponent's level. His opponent was a little guy who wanted to get on the inside and get up and fight in close range and hooks and uppercuts and that sort of thing. And Ricky Burns pretty much fought into his game, both of them leading with their heads. The fight was pretty much in a phone booth. And it was really, really scrappy. The styles didn't gel. So it was two guys leaning all over each other, pushing each other forward. Ricky Burns landing by far the better work, and the opponent offering very, very, very little. Ricky Burns stopped him with a punch to the body in the 10th round. By that point, I think the will had been beaten out of his opponent, and he wasn't you know, there was no chance for him to win. I guess really here, Ricky Burns though, he just didn't show the golfing class that you would expect him to have over this kind of opponent. You know, Ricky Burns, you think of him as this former world champion, you see the size difference and you think he's going to be able to put on a boxing clinic against an opponent as small and as technically limited as this guy. But he really didn't do that. You know, Ricky Burns to me is faded from the days when he was stopping Kevin Mitchell. He wasn't throwing his jab at all, and even when he started to throw his jab, it looked weak, it looked sloppy, it didn't seem to have its snap attached to it. He was really just getting into a rock, a real sort of messy scrap, and was able to come through it on the basis that he was just a bigger, stronger man. And it's as simple as that. But there was a complete lack of skill and a complete lack of boxing class and technical capability shown by either man, really. Yeah, I think Eddie Hearn needs to do something different with Ricky Burns, really. Ricky Burns, he's a very, very experienced veteran. He's been a world champion. Nobody's interested in seeing him in fights like this. You know, I understand if you have a fight like this in Scotland as like a showcase fight because Ricky Burns sells a lot of tickets up there. But doing this in Liverpool, you know, it can't help Ricky Burns. He mustn't be getting a massive payday out of that. The crowd was pretty much dead for the entire fight. There's nobody sitting at home saying they want to see Ricky Burns fight an Aussie we haven't heard of. I think Ricky Burns, he's got to get stuck into the domestic level opposition. And don't, you know, people are saying, I heard on the TV, oh, he's going to get this guy's ranking within the WBO. As if the plan is for Ricky Burns to take on Terry Flanagan, you know, in the WBO. So they brought this opponent over just because it was a weak, easy win as far as I'm concerned against a guy with a semi-respectable record. But, you know, there's such a depth of lightweights. Based on this performance, don't be surprised if Eddie Hearn offers Ricky Burns as a sacrificial lamb to fight Luke Campbell and, you know, uses him as a stepping stone for Luke Campbell. Don't be surprised whatsoever if that happens. But this was a poor fight. I really don't want to see Ricky Burns in another one of these fights. I either want to see Ricky Burns fighting at the top level or at least fighting in a domestic scrap where we've known the opponent. Let me know your thoughts. Many thanks for watching.